Day 12 has arrived. Look at this hair. This is a day 12 haircut. I had a buddy in Korea that would always wear his hair like this, which is not that weird in Korea, but he was bald, not balding. So when he would get on his little motorbike after we would go out drinking and he would drive away, his hair would just flip up like this, and he would just have a huge bald. And it was the funniest goddamn thing. I'm not far away from that, to be fair. But, I mean, this is as normal as I look. Can I work in with you? If this person came up to you and said, could I work in, would you say yes? I think you'd say yes. Whatever. Today was an inconsequential day in terms of, like, lifting. Nothing important, nothing remarkable. But we are definitely, we're learning we're at an impasse. We're at an impasse because the Noobie gain zone is becoming murky. I'm beginning to question whether or not I've hit that sort of area where, more or less, there's going to come a point where I have to lean towards doing things that make me lose weight as opposed to leaning purely on lifting. One of the reasons I really wanted to go straight into compound lifting while losing weight this time was I really wanted to get some strength back, because mid-2023 to late 2024, I had herniated a disc in my back and I was completely shit. I could barely sit. It sucked. And there were times where it came and went, but I never went back to lifting in that period. That was the longest time I've gone without lifting in a very long time. I'm constantly lifting, which is why my Noobie gains are questionable, because I'm not really that much of a newbie. Of course I am a newbie. I'm deadlifting like 210 pounds in this, but there is something to be said about the idea of those early preposterous muscular changes that happen when you go from being overweight or out of shape and you go straight into lifting. I can't help but feel like I've already gotten those, and they come back in diminishing returns over time. And today I kind of felt that. I felt that out. And I'll discuss that a little bit more in terms of, it's day 12, but I got back into lifting like almost 2 months ago. And I've been consistent 3 days a week. I don't miss any weeks. So we are reaching a point where the strength gains aren't just coming for free anymore. They're just not coming for free anymore. And it gets a little weird because, for example, 2 months ago I was doing an assisted pull-up with 100 pounds assistance, right? It's a lot. Now I'm doing them with 65 pounds of assistance. Okay, did I gain such a substantial amount of muscle that I have reduced the assisted weight requirement by 40 pounds? No, probably in concomitance to that minor change, my nervous system and my body has overall adapted to the pull-up, and much of my muscle memory in that movement has returned. So I try not to think about these things too much, but today, as you'll see, I failed a few sets, so we have to drop, in accordance to GZCLP, we have to move our 5 sets of 3 to 8 sets of 2. I have to start doing things like that. We have to start dropping weights. And eventually, I will probably really reduce even my attempts to increase the number, because I will have to cut calories more. I will have to do more cardio, and I will reach a point where I kind of have to just sort of let lifts be where they are. We're far from that. I don't want to mess with calories. Even if I weigh myself on Monday and it says I'm the same weight or 2 pounds heavier, I'm not touching the calories. 1600 is low enough. If I'm being honest with myself, it shouldn't be a problem. I would sooner add cardio, and I don't want to touch the 1200 calorie zone until I break the 200 or 195, barrier. That's good for me. 1200 is low, and that's how I first lost weight. When I very first tried to lose weight and I started counting calories, I just did 1200 for a year. There you go. Of course, there were variances, and many times where I ate under that, and many times where I binged ate over that like a maniac, but the majority of the time. Anyway, I don't want to talk about this too long, but let's get into it. Let's get into the lifts. Let me mess with the OBS here. 5 minutes is enough, no? Dude, I look nuts. look fucking crazy. All right. Let's go to here. Hey, that works. All right. What pisses me off about these, and I knew this was coming, is form I think is fine. But you'll see that, so my right hand, I've broken my wrist, I've broken fingers in this hand, I've sprained it brutally. I've had a few years where I was moving kegs a lot for work, and twisting and turning like 170 pounds, which is what a keg weighs often, all day, many days in a row is not normal. And you will hurt yourself. And I did inevitably really hurt this hand. So this hand is very weak right now, and it is a weak spot in my deadlifts. You'll see I'm losing right here, I'm losing grip right here, which is why this leg and my hip are starting to move, because I'm trying to start to compensate and move forward to keep myself from dropping it. That's not good. This is how you hurt your back. This is how you hurt yourself. So I felt that, and you'll see as I readjust every time. This last rep, I just go whatever. I'll just do a switch grip. Oh no, the first set I kept it. Oh good, never mind. First set I kept it, but each time it was, you know, the bar was starting to go here. You know, I could feel it. My wrist was giving up. It's something I have to work on. And here's set 2. I've switched to, I do this, and then I do this, and then I do this to finish it out. I don't want to do that. I often have a very strong grip, but since I hurt my wrist the last time, it's been very weak. So that's something I have to work on. I really don't like lifting like with the switch grip like that. I really don't like it. But it is what it is. As soon as I do this, it's nothing. It's, I mean, 210 pounds, it's like, okay, whatever. It feels fine. But it is disappointing. So I think I'm going to drop this, though, to 8 sets of 2. I think that's the move. And keep the grip natural. Again, I don't want these lifts to go up quickly. The last thing I want to do is lift as heavy as I possibly can right now. I want to improve my form. I want to find like a real comfortable place. I'm throwing it at the wall still, even 2 months later, in terms of what I'm capable of. God knows I could deadlift more than this, but not beautifully, you know. Yeah. Yeah, I don't see any like glaring issues with that. It was when my right hand was failing that I started to behave strangely in my lift. Overhead press, I had an issue with this 2 weeks ago. Nothing has changed. It was easier than 2 weeks ago, but it's a heavy weight for 30 reps, and it's time to change the scheme, you know, to switch the amount the way GZCLP has it. I don't remember the exact what you're supposed to fail to when you fail a set. You drop to 3 sets of 8. So 3 sets of 8 for this, and the squat I'll change to 6 sets of 2. It feels good, but you'll see during, I think, this set, somewhere in the air I decide, I think it's this set, somewhere in the air I decide my grip is too close, and that's why it's hard. So I have to work on the form here. My arm placement is a little weird. My arm placement for things is always weird because of how short I am, and I feel like the width of my grip is not the same as everyone else's. But that could just be in my head. Didn't feel it in my back. Didn't feel any weirdness in my arms. I did feel this higher on my chest, which is nice. I do think my wrist is still too far back. This last set, you'll see I make the adjustment. I make the adjustment to my arm position. Yep, yeah, there I am. I just go wider, which feels a lot easier. And of course it feels easier because it's relying less on my arms when I widen, right? Does that make sense? I'm here doing this and I go wider. Yeah, when I'm wider, it feels like I'm using more of this. So maybe I am too tight. It says just outside your shoulders, but I'm kind of grabbing like this. I don't know. Got to look at it. Got to play with it next week. Curls, Don't ask me how I got this shot that makes my gym look like it's an underground fuck club. Not a good one, but this is what we got today. 50-pound curls instead of 45, and I'm going way faster than usual because the 45-pound bar was gone. Jesus Christ. Should I put a hat on so I stop touching my head? I have nothing to say about these. I have nothing to say about these. Sometimes I feel like I'm doing something, sometimes I'm not. I'm not going through the motions with these, but I am swinging, I think, too much. I got to slow it down so much. And you'll see I remind myself in the last set to slow it down. And I slow it way down, and I can only do 5 reps. You know, I take out all the swing. I go completely neutral. Look at this. 1. I'm going, oh God, this is hard. I'm realizing, I'm going, oh, I'm cheating. Like if I even remotely do it normally. 5 reps, that's all I got. Bring this back down to 45. Do another 3 set of 15 with 45 as slow as I can. Keep going slow. What is it, my biceps? I don't give a shit about that, man. I just don't care. There is a part of me that really like wants to be in a world where I'm excited to be in a world where I could do all these things without the constant thought in my head that the goal is that I'm to become smaller, right? And here again, I did the bike. But cardio's got to change, man. It's not that this is better than nothing. But after doing this for 2 months, it's like, what is this really doing for me? It elevates my heart rate a little bit. My heart rate goes up. It's 15 minutes of something. It's not sitting at my desk, but I don't know. We can improve this. This is getting a little old, you know? This is like we could add running, right? I could add running. You know, I've always run at a heavy weight, even though you're not supposed to. I've always, or it's bad for you. I've always done running to help me lose weight. I don't like it, but that's part of the reason why I want to do it. It's miserable. That's it though. Today's lift. It's not crazy every time, you know. A lot of the times I look back at it and I go, yeah, well, I did it. I did it. We're going to watch a video, a funny video of mine. So I'm an itinerant. In my first glory days, I spent a great deal of time out of the country, and it ended up kind of becoming the defining period of my life. I met my best friends. I discovered a lot about the things I wanted to get out of life, and I, of course, inevitably met my wife as well. Now, this video will be somewhat alarming because it includes my consumption of a bit of alcohol. Now, on this particular day, I drank a lot of alcohol. I drank effectively almost more than half of a bottle of very cheap Japanese whiskey. And it is a little disturbing to watch people chug alcohol, isn't it? There's something off-putting about it. Obviously, the younger the person is, the more you're like, well, I guess maybe they'll be all right. Alcohol for me has always been a tool to magnify the good feelings of an already good evening. And anytime I've ever drank out of that construct in my mind, it has ended in misery. I enjoy this video a lot because it's a great memory I have of my cousins. And it's a cautionary tale. It's 2 seconds long. Let's watch it before I get into it so I don't give anyone false expectations here. Control F that thing. Wrong thing. Here. Switch this. Hitting buttons right there. So, move this maybe over here. Why not? As you can see, it's the ass end of the bottle. We haven't left the house yet. That's problem number 1, right? I mean, we haven't left the house. And here's why it's a cautionary tale. Not because I got super drunk. It's fine. It's fine to get super drunk. It's not good, but, you know, worse things can happen. It all depends on your environment, man. It depends on who you're with. Depends on your relationship with alcohol to begin with. I digress. The goal of this night was to go to a bar I've been wanting to go to for my whole life. Not for drinking reasons, but because it was a bar famously named for Haruki Murakami's first bar, the writer, his bar. And if memory serves, it is the same location. I could be wrong. It's called Peter the Cat. It's a jazz bar. It's very nice, very cool. Go down some stairs in the middle of, I want to say it's near Shinjuku, and or Shibuya rather. And God, I've been waiting to go there forever. It's a perfect night for it. Cousins were there. Gonna hear some piano, have a couple drinks. I mean, could you pray for a better environment? For me as a writer, I'd spent my entire time there reading and writing alone. You know, my cousins had joined me on vacation. I've been out there traveling alone for a long time. And the moral of the story is, at the end of this video, I was obviously so hammered that when I got to Peter the Cat, I immediately picked up my first drink and just dropped it and shattered it on the table. And I was useless. I was not, you know, I was shark-eyed and gone. And I don't remember anything about Peter the Cat except the pianist's face and dropping my glass and looking at the brick walls and being kind of in awe, and then walking home and laughing at myself with my cousins. But this is a little tidbit video. First of all, pretty slim. Terrible. Terrible. It's just the ass end of it, but where did the rest of the bottle go? Welcome to Tokyo. To this day, my cousins will still say, welcome to Toky-oky to me. I wanted to include that because I'm writing about it today in my little, like, newsletter. Obviously, it'll be more, I'll be a little bit more beautiful when I write about it, but, oh, youth. Don't get drunk before you do something you're really excited to do. But really, I just wanted to show my cousins a good time. Maybe I went a little too far. Anyway, that's today's private hour ending of the video. Quiet time. My background is Dandaran. So it's a very fun manga anime that pretty new. That's it, dude. That's it. I knew I was having a chill day 12. It's a chill day 12. Keep your shit on lock and all that.